Okay, welcome to the Army Roundtable. Today's the 16th of June, 2021, and I have a guest, Lex from Tradier, is going to show us the TradeHawk software. So welcome, Lex. Nice to have you here.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for having me.
And before we get too far into this, just a normal disclosure that Aramir is not a broker, dealer, or an investment advisors. This is for educational purposes only. Options, futures, bonds, currencies all involve risks and are not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. And if you want to read our whole disclosure, just if you're watching the recording, just pause the slide with the this disclosure, or go to the bottom of any of our web pages where the whole thing's there too. So with that out of the way, Lex showed me this software a couple weeks ago. It's pretty impressive, and then combined with the Tradier commission structure, it's actually quite attractive. So I wanted Lex to come on and show us and give everybody an idea, what the software can do and how they may be able to use it in their own accounts.
Great.
So Lex, yeah, looking forward to this.
Okay, good. I'll just go through, just a grand overview. And I don't know, do you do questions, Tom? How does that work?
Yeah, there's Q&A. So,
okay.
Go as long as you want. And then if there's questions, I'll go through those and, get everybody's questions answered.
Perfect. Okay, good. So hopefully everyone can see my screen. What you're looking at, first of all, is my personal version of TradeHawk. Okay. So it's a downloadable product. You get it off of our website, downloads to your computer. It just takes a simple double click on this little icon that's placed down there. You will get a little docking station that you can open the software in the beginning of the day or whenever you do. You can also set it so that it opens automatically, all that kind of stuff. The other takeaway from when I say it's my layout, all of these templates and modules are movable and removable. So if I want to move something, I can grab it and move it. So the takeaway there is you certainly can make a custom layout. Doesn't have to look like this. It can be stripped down if you need just bare basics. I tend to use a lot of things, so I keep a lot of modules in the layout. So that's just my preference. But just know that this can be all moved. And if you see on any one of the modules you're in, there's this little X up there, right? So that's how you would remove something from a layout. I happen to have many layouts. So we have these little icons over on the side. So if I click the layout button, you get your little template here and you can see how many layouts I have. I like to set a default layout. Okay. That's just a double click on the one in question, right? So when you do that, the reason I like to show people a default is this. I'm going to make a deliberate mess of my screen and just move things around randomly. And I've got this disaster on the screen. Fell asleep at the keyboard. This is what I have. Well, what you can do is you can go down to your little default icon when you have that set and just click it. And it'll bring you back to ground zero. Okay. So it's just some housekeeping items on how you can move the system around. All these things can drag and make them skinnier, fatter, taller, all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so you want to get a workflow that you like. One of the features we do offer as a note, if you have difficulty with the computer, we're happy to do a private demo, log on with you, help you create your screen if you need that, help you save it so you don't have to do it ever again. Okay, so just keep that in mind that we do offer. Okay, let's just go around the board then. So knowing that this doesn't have to be the screen, I'm just going to work my way around the horn here, maybe, crisscross a little bit here and there. Watch list. That's what I have up. This, clearly everyone knows what a watch list is. This is the stuff I'm looking at, right? This group. You can easily add things. There's just a little symbol box, type it in, hit, hit enter on the keyboard. So that's super easy. It automatically saves it. You can have multiple watch lists as well. Okay, so this stuff can, you can toggle in between these if you'd like. You can remove these and you can put multiple watch lists around as well. So for multi-screen users, this stuff all undocks and can be put on multiple screens, and layouts can be saved that way as well. In your watch list, a right click on any symbol gives you choices. Okay, new order tickets, you can update charts, the option tower, etc. You can actually make alerts. You can make trades from here if you'd like, all with a right click from your watch list if you so choose. Options can be put in a watch list. I'm very persnickety about that, so I have an options watch list, and I just send my options to a single watch list. And I put Microsoft in it just because I put Microsoft in that one for I can't remember the reason. But to do that, you'd go in your options chain, find the option in question, and just right click on it. And then it's under create alert. And you would just send it to that options watch list. In this case, I sent it right here. Now I'm going to expand this so you can see it better. So it comes in with an alert. So I put that on there. I just hit it to deactivate it. Again, alerts, right click. You can set alerts for various things in options and stock. You can send them to your cell phone if you'd like or not. Okay, deactivate, delete, etc. I'm going to delete that alert so it doesn't bother us. Let's move along. I don't know how, Tom, I don't know how many stock traders you guys have, but you know, we use a stock tower.
Yeah, most of our traders are doing indexes.
Okay, so not doing a lot of stock trading.
Right. Some are with Amy's trade, but most of them, I'd say probably 95% are doing indexes.
Okay, let me skip this and I'll show a tower with options, and it's a very similar functionality. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay, so I'm just going to go back to my other layout so I can watch that. We have balances. You know, balances page, very simple. It shows you all your money and your buying power and all that kind of good stuff. Not exciting. Let's go to the middle, options chain. I think we all know what that is. That's where all your options lie. The way we do things in this version is we run the expirations across the top, and I hope you can see my arrow drawing going out in time.
Yep.
Everything's labeled 2 days, 9 days, etc. Okay, so I'm in Apple. The way I get into a stock, everything's remembered off your watch list in a drop down, or if you like to type, you can type in your symbol as well. Once you're in, you'll see some blue notations and white. White is the month you're looking at. Okay, blue is an indication to you that you have a position in that particular month. When you click on that month, okay, it'll obviously turn white because now you can see your position there. Now, don't fret. Your positions are not just shown there, and nor do you have to look at them if you don't want. You can change that column, okay? Your positions are all bundled in what we call our portfolio page, which we'll talk about in a second. Okay, so all your positions reside here. They can also reside in your option chain as well, if you'd like to see and see those, okay? All right. Other thing too, implied volatilities in each month. So we take a kind of a blend of the at the money. So there's a little algo that we run behind the scenes, and that's this value right here. If you wanted to see implied volatility by strike, you could do that. We have drop downs for all this stuff, so you could absolutely show that by strike if you'd want to. I tend not to, but I just show my positions. Trading. So let's do just a couple trades. Tom, mostly spreads or straight options? What's best?
Very few straight options. Okay. Almost none. Yeah.
Okay, almost none. Okay, I'll go fast then on the straight options. Option tower, we have that if you'd like it. We also have just a straight option ticket. So all you need to do is say, hey, what do I want to do? Do I want to use my tower? Do I want to use my ticket? Or do I just want to make a spread? If you're mainly spread traders, you probably never leave this space, okay? So just for the option tower, all you need to do is click on something. So if I want to buy or sell the 100 put, okay, I'm pointing to it now. It's 11 cents at 12 cents, okay? All I need to do, if I click on it when I'm in the option tower, it'll fill in that option. It says it up there. All your options are remembered for the day or your session. Towers, you just put buy orders in the buy column based on the price that you'd like. You put sell orders in the sell column based on the price you'd like. That's it. It's that simple. You can definitely set confirmation dialogues if you'd like. I don't use that very much. So if I want to buy this option for 7 cents, I find 7 cents. I left click in that space and it would send that order out. Okay. So that's how the tower works. Market orders are available as well. Straight options, similar functionality. It's for single option. What you click on will send it that price. So if I clicked on 15 cents, it'll put that in. If I click on 34 cents, it'll put that in. Again, same deal. All your options are remembered. Buy, sell buttons, simple. We will colorize the ones you should click. If you hit a bad one, you will get rejected. We won't let you hurt yourself. We'll prevent you from that. Okay, so colors are your friends in this system. Okay, and we know whether it's opening or closing. So I did that fast. Tom, if we have to go back to that, I'm happy to if we have some questions about that, but I'll go to spreads now, okay?
Sure.
Okay, spreads. So this is probably a little different than most people are used to, and at least trading in the retail world. And you know, some of our background is we come from the professional trading world. We were floor people back in the day when there were floors. So we do things a little differently, at least in this version. And I keep referring to this version. And Tom, I'm not sure you know this, but we're in the latter stages of our rebrand. So the new version, you'll be able to set this feature up and make it configurable. And what I mean by that is how we put legs into our spread. Okay, there's a number of ways to do it, first of all. The most common way I'd say is, let's do just a put credit spread, simple put credit spread. I want to buy the 125 put, and I'm just going to make this up. I want to sell the 130 put. So there's the 130 strike. There's the 125 strike where my arrows are. Now, what most platforms do is they say, hey, when I buy something, I want to buy the offer. We don't do it that way in this version. You can flip it over in the next version. Here, you click the bid for the buy leg. Okay, it's green. It will show up on your strike tower. It will show up in your ticket scratch pad. I want to sell the 130 put. You click on the offer or ask. Okay, it'll show up in your scratch pad, and it'll show up here. Interesting features. Okay, once you have the spread correctly put into your scratch pad, okay, we will name it. Might not be the name you're familiar with. It's probably more of a prop name, but we call this a short put vertical spread. It's also a put bull spread. I get it. We'll fix names as we get more interesting ones. We will input a price of the spread at the midpoint value. Okay, that's the default. That spread price can be changed. You can type over that spread price. You can use the drop down to move it up, pennies, nickels, dimes, etc., or move it down by those values. Okay, and don't forget, I said you can always type in a price if you need to. Okay, so far I've got this put spread in here. We tell you whether it's a credit or debit. You do not have to think about that. If you think you're doing a credit spread and you do not see the word credit there, you're doing something wrong. Okay, if you have it backwards because you're used to doing it the other way, there's a flip button. When you flip, it will turn it over. So this should become a debit spread, right? My colors all flip, everything flips. Now it's a debit. So let's go back to that credit spread. You can see how everything moves. If you don't like a leg that you put in here, you want to adjust it, you can do one of two things. You can remove it with the little red minus sign and click a new leg, or my preferred way is click the leg in question, just left click on it on the tower, move your mouse to the new spot, left click to drop it. You have a new spread. Everything is recomputed. Okay. If for some reason you say, too close to at the money, I want to move this spread down, you can right click on either leg, and then the spread goes into edit mode, and you can move the spread in its integrity down to where you need to. That little dotted line happens to be the one standard deviation line. So if you drop it there, you get a new spread, new values. The interesting part about doing it this way is you can, if you're looking for a certain credit on a $5 spread, you can move this till you see that credit. You can see my prices changing in my ticket. So let's say I'm trying to get $1.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, getting pretty close to $1. There's 94, there's 105. Let's call that the one we want. That's actually the original one by chance. What do you know? So I get to my $1, 105, let's call it, on the 120, 125 line. Other interesting features. So you can save this spread. If you say, you know, kind of cool, I want to check out some other things, let's stage it. We call it staging. If you hit that stage button, puts it into a template. Okay, the module is free floating. It's not in the layout. So it comes off our little docking menu that looks like this guy here from the very beginning of the talk. So it's this guy here. It's under the trade, all kinds of stuff under here, all kinds of analyses, implied volatility studies, scanners, all kinds of things that you can find under here. Okay, there's multi-ticket trading. So if you're trading, you know, more pertinent for stocks, I suppose, or single options. But if you're trading just a slew of things, you can use one ticket to kind of do all that workflow. But nevertheless, the stager, you can put things away. It stores it. Think of it as just kind of a holding pattern for a future date. And if you want to go back to that, you just use your stager and click on it and fills it right in. Okay. If you're a big kind of, you like to do some analysis, we have a what if button. Think of what if as a risk simulator. So I click that, it sends it to our what if ticket. Okay. And now you can go kind of crazy with this spread. Okay. Let me get some more data. So kind of, we know the short put credit spread looks like this, right? You can see break evens, max profits. You can change dates. We have little hot buttons to change dates to see how your P&L moves. We do that visually and tabular form as well. So graphically and tabular. If you don't see a date you like and you want a different date, we have a calendar. So you can go pick any date you want and it'll show that. Okay. This is, and you can do this based on percentages, prices, you can change values, all kinds of things in here you can do. You can add new trades to this to see what would happen if you added that sort of stuff to it. Take those trades out, add them in, etc. Okay. Tom, that all makes sense, right?
It does. Yep.
Okay. When it goes to what if, it also goes to what we call our calculator. I'd say the calculator is probably very useful for earnings sort of things, meaning, you did the spread and you want to say, oh, I've got this Apple stock here and it's trading 130.63. Let's see what my spread looks like if we go down to 125. And again, I'm just totally making up that number. So I'm just going to pick up 125, push it in there and see what this spread's going to do. So I'll show you how to read this. So when I sent it into what if by clicking this button over here, it grabs a moment in time. So it grabs the stock price currently, grabs the the price that you threw in there, 105, and puts it in the calculator. When I change the stock price, this is the trader column. It puts the new stock price in, okay, and it tells you how many dollars you changed it, 5.63, and what percent it is. And then the important feature in this trader column is it tells you what the spread is now worth at our new price, how much the spread changes in dollars and cents and by percent. Okay. So you can play little what if games in a real condensed focused form here. Okay. It'll give you new deltas. It'll give you new theta if you want it, new vega, all kinds of new Greeks as well. Okay. If you like what you see and you want to get out of this spread for whatever reason, or you're scared to death and you're fearful, you can hit the post button. It'll put that 182 price into your ticket ready to trade. Okay. So you can use that calculator for doing a little more granular sort of analysis on the spread. Okay. Make sense, Tom?
Does, yep.
Okay. Changing a spread, you want to clear it. There's a big clear button, get rid of it, goes away, and you can go about your business of doing another spread, simple straddle, just like that. So just as a note, the new version is going to be a little different. You're still going to be able to click like this if you like. It's also going to punch in legs where you can have drop downs and change
strikes easily.
Yeah, change strikes from that. The reason we didn't do that in this past is, again, remember where we come from. We come from a workflow on the trading floor and in the off-floor trading world on a trading desk. So we had to do things pretty quickly. So, the concept is for me to do a straddle. I could right click and find that spread and do a straddle, right? I can make my own spreads, all that kind of good stuff. So if I want to do a straddle, I could just go click on it and it fills it in. Super easy to do. So that's a right click method where you can create any spread you want, save it, name it. You can do whatever the heck you want. Okay. And if you see that, look at my custom spreads. I've got an iron butterfly. I've got a Lexadoodle. I don't even know what a Lexadoodle is, but I made it. So you can create anything you want and it'll do those kind of spreads. So a 1x3x2 sort of a butterfly, right? So you can do that. Once it's in here, you can change legs, like I said. But here's the reason we didn't do the drop down method, at least in this version. We are adding it. It's 2 clicks to put in my straddle. Okay, it's over. The straddle's done. An iron condor is 4 clicks. If we're doing the drop down method where we add a leg, I've got to pick a month, that's a drop down. I got to pick a strike, that's a drop down. Call or put, that's a drop down. So before you know it, you're doing 16, 17, 18, sometimes 26 clicks, especially if you want to move it again. So we wanted to get away from all those clicks and make it very simple to get a trade in here. So for me, a butterfly is super easy to do. I probably would just click, right click and do the butterfly. But for me to do a butterfly at the money, that butterfly is done. It's in there, ready to go. Okay, I adjust the price and hit send. That's the end of the story. Okay, savable, right? You can make this your spread if you want to. All that's doable. Okay, Tom, I'm just going to keep referring to you to make sure I'm making sense. That's all.
Yeah. I'm just curious, when you clicked on the short put or call, I guess it was.
Yep.
Did you double click or something to get the 2?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a great point. So great point. So let me go back to that because that's important. So let's go back to just let me do better strike so it makes it more simple. Let's go 125. Okay, 130. So we're gonna make a butterfly. We're gonna do it in pieces. So if you notice, I've only clicked once. Okay, that's a great question. These numbers are the ratio of the leg, excuse me, of the legs to themselves. Okay, so what we don't like to do is we don't like to define a 5-lot spread by making these 5 and 5. You can do that. Again, this is another kind of pro concept. We like to govern size in the size or quantity box. Keep the ratios in their least common denominator. So a butterfly is a 1/2/1 ratio. Okay, so we want to see it like that. Okay, that's what we want to see. If you want to do 27 butterflies, then make your size 27. Okay, you can see I'm starting 27. You never have to do math. The full number of spreads you're always going to do is going to be right in that middle box. So we've got half of a butterfly now. Okay, here's the other half, and we're going to get to your question. So I'm going to do the 135 upper call, and then the 130 again with another short call spread. And now look what I've got. I got this butterfly. So I did it with 2 spreads, right? A long call spread, a short call spread, using the same strike in the middle. We somehow got 1 by 2 by 1. Back to your question. Yes. If you click a second, third, fourth time, your ratio will change. Watch this middle 2. I'll click it a third time. It becomes a 3. Click it a fourth time, it becomes a 4. If you want to change it, you can double click on the number and you'll get a little pad where you can change it up, down, or just click the number. You can always do that without clicking twice or 3 times, etc. I'm just a really good clicker, so I can do that really fast. Okay, make sense, Tom?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up because I forgot to mention that. But yeah, so just a second click. Do you guys do any, ratio put spreads or anything like 2 by 1s? So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
if you do, here's a, I'm long this put, short this put, or at least trying to be, right? And I want to do this 2 by 1. So see, it's only 1 and 1. Just click it a second time, 2 by 1. Simple. All the math's done. If I'm trying to do a 2 lot, let's say I want to do 50 of these. Okay, I'm hoping I'm going to see 100 by 50 in the middle. I just do the math fast in my head, but it is 100 by 50. So we're not making this 100 by 50. You're just making this least common. Put your size in. We'll do the math for you. Okay, debits, credits will be decided for you. Prices you can adjust. Off you go. Okay. Notation wise, I'm going to make this back to a one by one. That's okay. So notation wise, what some of these things mean, again, changing a little bit in version 2. So what people always ask me, what the heck does join and trade mean? So in spread parlance, think of that as join price, credit or debit bid of the spread market. So whether you're a credit or debit, this will be the bid. Okay. The trade price is the offer or ask. So whether it's a credit or debit, its trade price is going to be the ask of that spread. So we always give you prices on the full package of the spread as well. Okay, you can see the legs prices if you want, but I don't like doing math in my head very much, so we do that for you when we do this up here. Okay.
The join's just the bid and trade is the ask.
That's correct. Right, and we'll tell you whether it's credit or debit. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Like the what if, there's a preview, again, go nuts. You can do all kinds of things. I'd say if you really want more, a deeper study, use what if you just want to see, I always tell folks here, if you just need a quick glance of what this thing might look like, right? Maybe use this. The important things here are how much margin this is going to cost you and, the order costs and all that those kind of numbers. That's what's important here, I think. You can get better graphics in the what if. And then if you like what you see, you can afford it, all that kind of good stuff, hit the send button. If not, there's an X button up here to get rid of it and start over. Okay, so if I click this out, it goes away. So that's that preview button. I don't know if you do buy rights and that kind of stuff, but if you were going to do...
A few people do, yeah.
Yep, so at the money, let's just use and by the way, that blue band happens to be at the money, if anyone's wondering. So if I want to do the 130 call, I want to sell that and do a buy right. We have a buy right button. You just click it, fills in the stock for you, 1-to-1 ratio. Okay. Again, if you want to do 2 of these, use 2 up here. Notice it's 200 by 2 calls, right? If I want to do a 5 lot, 500 by 5, etc. Okay. If you wanted to do this delta neutral, meaning using the delta of the option to do your stock hedge, that's what 0 delta is. So this is a 50 delta option, this at the money. So we're going to do 1 call by 50 shares. Okay, so that would be delta neutral. Okay, so that's what that is. We already talked about flip. Okay,
yep.
So far so good. So that's just order management, putting them in there. I guess I should probably put something out there, right? So you can see what it looks like when it's out there. Let's just do a straddle, which don't tell anyone, I'll probably never buy an at the money straddle, but that's just me. I'm gonna do 25. I'm gonna send it out there. So all I did was hit send. I got my spread right. You see how fast I did that, right? You get really good at this. Trust me. It's in the marketplace. Okay, the straddle. I sent it out where? What price did I send it out with? I hope you can see this. So we have this event log. Yep, event log is. I always refer to it as the USA Today headline news. It's dynamic. It's always updating when something happens in your account. So that little green line there, I just know that means it's an open working order, has not been filled. All the details of that order in there. It's open. It's a day order. I can make it GTC if I want, but I chose day. It's an 830 debit. Wonderful. All of that information is also posted in what we call our our order panel. An order panel or order log is just where all your open and fills and cancels and rejects, it all sits in this order panel. Okay. You can see I have this front and center. I like to see this to see what I'm getting filled on. So let's just go through this real quick. Open means working, not filled. Action is obvious. It's a debit spread. I'm trying to buy both legs. How many am I trying to do? 25 lot spreads. Incidentally, it's a long straddle. What is the current midpoint in the marketplace? 915. What is my price, my limit price? It is 830. That's the same limit price that we saw over in our headline news. Okay. Last trade on both options is shown. If you had stop limit information, fills on partials, all this would be filled in if you had a fill. Okay. Once it fills, it goes to our portfolio page, which we'll go to in a second. Canceling this order, super easy. There's a big red X. You just click it and it'll cancel. Again, you can put confirmation dialogues on all this stuff if you want. I don't use that, but you can. The other way to cancel something, you see these little, I don't know if you can see it, there's these little blue boxes on here. So if I get rid of this spread, you'll see it better. Those blue boxes are indications you have something out there as a spread in those legs. If I right click on it, a lot of choices, but you can cancel this, the long straddle right from here. That's that 830 debit one. So if I click that, it'll cancel. You know, again, don't panic. You don't have to do that. Some people like to. You can just go to the red X and cancel it. Okay, if you want. But let's leave it out there, see if we get filled for a little bit. So that's how you would put an order out and cancel it. Changing the price of an order, all you need to do in your order panel is just click on it. Click anywhere. Okay, so I always tell people do the same thing over and over again. I'm just going to click on a price. So 830, I click on, look what it does. It fills that price into what we call our modify panel down below. Okay, so once it's there, you can type a new price. So let's say I want to pay a little more. I want to pay 850. You can type in 850. I like to use the hot buttons. Greens go up, watch it move. So 850, 830 became 850. Just hit the send button and think of it as a resubmit. Okay, so all that does is say, hey, system, I'm changing my price. I need to put a new order in. And now you can see it's now 850. Same with day versus GTC. You can change that as well and hit send. If you want to make this a market order, there's a big change to market there. It's going to absolutely ask you, are you sure? We're very afraid of market orders, just my personal feeling. But you can do them. We're just going to ask you, are you sure you want to do this? Okay.
Yep.
Tom, any questions you think on that? Or are you good?
We're good. There's a few questions piling up, but
Yep.
We'll get to those after you're done here.
Yeah, no worries. I see them coming, so I'll get those at the end. Perfect.
Okay, great.
Let's do portfolio page and maybe stop. I know this gets a little dense, and I'll let questions roll. So let's talk about the portfolio. So once we have a position on, where does it go? It goes on the portfolio page, right? New version, everything is configurable. This version, we go alphabetical, okay? So you can see I have a bevy of inventory from Apple on down to Target, TGT. You can see it's in alphabetical order. I have it in closed mode, meaning I just look at the symbols. I just want to see my P&L. I'm not doing too much detail work in this view, okay? So the views are governed up here by whether you want to see symbols, all, or expirations, okay? So I just keep it in symbol mode, right? If I hit all, oh my gosh, I get the whole, this is like looking under the sheets, right? It's like, oh, it makes my mind spin, okay? So I don't like looking at it like this. I like to go down in this view. If I want to look at Apple, I can click Apple. I can see everything I have in Apple, broken down by month. If I pull spreads out, you can do that and name spreads in here if you like. So this 60 by 40 lot, let me just highlight it. This 60 by 40 lot, it's in this month, right? I pulled it out and named it the Apple 3:2 ratio, okay? So I just want to see that separately. The usefulness of that is if you have multiple strategies within the same month, you know, let's say you have a 10 lot iron condor and then a 5 lot call spread somewhere and then a 2x1 all in the same month, you're going to want to pull it out so you can see them. Otherwise, there'll be a ripple of options in one month. Okay. So once it's in its form like this, and again, if you don't have much in the same month, you don't really need to do that. So what you can do is you can just click here and send this spread right over to the ticket. So send it to the ticket, goes in its closing form, full quantity, ready to close, current prices, right? Off you go. You can also click on an option. See how I have a 2x1 here? Mm-hmm. So remember our click strategy. Click, click. Wait a minute, it's 1x1. And it always sends in the opposite leg from the portfolio page. So I clicked here, it's a long, it fills in a closing short leg, right? C stands for closing where I'm pointing. Parentheses is a short, red leg is a short, etc. But you say, wait a minute, Lex, it's 2x1. Remember our functionality. We can change it here, or we can just click a second time, make it 2x1. Either way works. Okay, again, all of your numbers will be shown here as well. So you can see that I don't have 2 of these, I only have 1 of these. So it's 2x1, I just changed that. Okay, if you click this way, you'll get the closing thing that's full amount. Okay, so you can do that as well. You can also take this spread and put trailing stops on it, close it at the bid, mid, or ask, or market, just with a simple click and send it out there without even using a ticket. Okay, so super efficient if you want it to be. Let's just define the columns real quick. DTE, days to expiration. There can be alerts set on all this. So you can see I've got these red boxes here. When my days to expiration get less than a certain number, it's going to tell me. Position, just what your inventory is. Total is your P&L, okay, in dollars and cents. Now, the way we do P&L, right, we sum upwards. So let's go back to big mode. Sorry. So here, so we're going to go in big mode, and you can see my P&L on Apple, right? Let's just go up the line. Apple equity, all that means is stock along 7,300 shares, and just go right up the line. Every little detail is there. The Apple P&L is right with Apple. The portfolio P&L is up above that. So it's a sum of everything. So you can find any single thing in a sliver, or you can find it in a spread. If you look at the spread column, right, you can get all that. Anything you want is in terms of P&L can be diced down here. Next column over is just simply percent P&Ls as opposed to dollars and cents. Okay. Obvious columns moving to the right, right? So value is just what the current position is valued at. We use midpoint. Average price of this stuff, you can look at it in terms of position cost or average price. My coming from the trading world, I like average price, and it's understandable to me. But if I wanted to go to position cost, it goes into, you know, all the money you expended to get this position. Okay, that's what that would mean. Okay, so I'm going to go back to average price because I understand this better. Bid ask, last trade, change, delta theta, and you can change theta to whatever you want. Okay, Tom, how's that? Does that kind of answer a lot of this, or?
Yeah, there's still some, but yeah, okay.
Any specific question on this right now while I'm here?
And not on here, no other things.
Okay, I can see out of the corner of my eye. I can see the questions. Let me just close it down. You want me to stop here, Tom, or do you think? I know we've gone about 35, 40 minutes. So
yeah, you could probably take a few questions here.
Okay, I'm just looking up here. I didn't talk about charting, but I would say let's wait for version 2, which is the end of the summer, because it's going to change so much. But we have full charting. The new version of charting, you can do your whole workflow off the chart. You don't even need an option chain if you don't want to. So yeah, I'd rather show that in the next opportunity I have. We're big volatility people too. So if you do volatility work, right, you can look at vol skews, and you can have, you know, great views of volatility skew, and you can change these values. You can do all kinds of craziness with volatility skews. You can look at multiple expirations if you'd like and compare different ones. So it's pretty cool with volatility how we do that.
That is pretty nice. Yep.
Yeah. And you can trade from that as well. So there's trading available from there.
All right.
Okay,
Well,
let's answer some questions. I know you guys want to get back to your trading day, so let me do that. And you want to just ask them?
Yeah, we'll just go down the list. So Bill asked, do you have futures and options on futures?
So futures are coming at the end of the year. So Tradier Brokerage, to answer the first question, is who we're connected to. So Tradier Brokerage is a U.S. broker dealer. A lot of people haven't heard of us, right? So we do a lot of API B2B work, but we're really getting into the B2C world, the business to end facing customer, right? So folks like you. You know, we've had a great influx of folks from Thinkorswim on this platform. They really like it. Granted, you have to learn a new platform. We get it. We can get you to speed. We do private tutorials. We can get you there pretty quickly. My estimate is 2 to 4 days you are flying on this thing. Okay, if you work closely with us, very easy to do. So our broker dealer is Tradier Brokerage. It's a broker dealer like any other brokerage. We're very option centric. Okay, I'd say. So we're probably about the size in volume of Tasty Trade. So about that on that scale. Okay, in terms of size. So just to give you a flavor of it.
And you said futures coming later this year, right?
Yeah, I think later this year. We're trying to get them in Q4. It's easy for us to do. There's just some regulatory, you know, I don't know how well you know regulatory, but there's some red tape. So we just have to make sure we get through it. So that's the answer to that.
Okay.
You have OCO and condition orders? Yes. So I didn't go there. We have trigger orders. I'm just clicking on the screen. You can create all kinds of expressions to do your order, to cancel the order, to do all kinds of things. So we have brackets, triggers, trailing stops, OCOs, OTOs, all kinds of stuff. So for instance, OTO, I'll just do that real quick. If I right click on this 132 call, I can create an OTO, right? So all an OTO is I'm going to buy this option. And when I sell it, I'm going to have a profit order and a stop order out there. So you can do that with any of this stuff. Okay. So it's very doable with OCOs, conditionals, and there's a bevy of other ones. We're actually adding several more from our pro days to the new version. So there'll be an order. I'm trying to think of how to describe it. So it'll go like this. You'll be able to do your OCO process. You know, we're just not big fans of marketers. You can do it, but we're just not big fans. So what we're giving you is you'll be able to do the OCO. You'll be able to put a limit price on it, and you'll be able to walk the order down or up, as the case may be, in increments in time that you decide as a user. So you can define it. So when the order activates, you can go out at a limit price. If you don't get filled, it'll start walking itself down, penny, nickel, whatever you decide, every 5 seconds, every 10 seconds, whatever.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a cool order. So it's a lot of things we used on our desk in the prop world. You know, there's icebergs, there's step ups, there's walk ups, there's hiddens, there's all kinds of stuff we're adding in terms of the conditional. But bracket orders are in here, and all a bracket order is being able to do multi-level profit orders, multi-level stop orders. They don't have to be uniform, meaning you can have 3 different swaths for profits and only 2 for stop losses. The only thing that you need to have is the contract volume has to be the same. You can't try to get out of 7 on the profit and 5 on the stop. They have to be equivalent.
I know a few people are using Top Step Trader in their futures, so that'll be more applicable later. But
Yep.
they have some rules, like you have to be flat by the market close. Do you have like a market on close order too?
We not here. It's in the new version.
Okay.
So in the new version, when I say that, I'm using the new version, so it's not like it's very far away. So we're getting close. Yeah, so we will have that. That's right. And the other thing too. Oh, sorry, Tom. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I know a lot of people use the API, especially like pulling data into Excel. Do you guys do that too?
Yeah, you can do that through the Tradier APIs, which are great. So if we have coders out there, Tradier brokerage has APIs that are phenomenal. If you have a brokerage account with them, you get access to the brokerage APIs, and you can literally write your own algos if you choose. Okay, so you absolutely can do that.
Let's see. Martin asked, is there a limitation on the number of legs you can put on a spread?
Yeah, so I see his comment there. So Tasty does 4. We do 4 as well. Here's the reason. So the exchange limits us that, and so does our clearing agent, which is Apex. Incidentally, Tasty's clearing agent is also Apex. So right now the exchanges don't let any of us put in more than 4 legs. So we're governed to 4 right now. That could change in the future, you know, as soon as they open that up. But whatever is allowable, we'll give. If they let us do 100, we'll do 100. So it's just a matter of, you know, permissioning for us.
Okay, and then I know a lot of people like to use the risk profile, risk charts, and then put adjustments on and compare what it is now to what it could be after this adjustment you're thinking about.
Yep, that's doable. Yep, absolutely. So unfortunately, in this version, I don't have it loaded in here because I've got an older version. So what that would be is in here. I mentioned that when I was talking. You have a what if position, and you can add new positions to here. I can't do it in this version, unfortunately, but it's all you do is use the option chain. So you just go here and you just click on the options you'd want, right? And then it would go into that what if template, and it would have like little blue checks by them. You can turn them on, turn them off, and see how it affects the picture.
Okay.
If I had time, I could open up the other version, but you probably don't want me to do that. So I'll just keep rolling. But yes, you can do that. Absolutely. And what you can also do is you have slices. So you can place standard deviation values or straight stock values and see what the percent probabilities are in between values, beyond values, all that kind of stuff as well.
Now, one thing I know, Thinkorswim, you can't show both at the same time, but like software like Option View or Option Explorer, you see both the current and the proposed on top of each other. Is that something the current or new version is going to have?
Current version, no. New version, you'll get up to 4 different views.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is simply, and you know, we might make it infinity. We're not sure yet. But right now, this is your position. If you put in some new stuff, you can turn it on, turn it off, and see how the graph changes. So it's not separate. The new version, you'll be able to do, right now, it's 4. So you'll be able to do your main spread, let's say top left. And again, I'm just making up where it goes for now. You'll be able to define it. So this is the main spread. And then you have the other spread, uncombined, other maybe a 3rd version, a 4th version, etc. If you want to combine them all, you'll be able to do that with one click.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, just maybe a request for your coders. It's really nice to see overlaid on top of each other.
Okay, easy. That's easy enough to do. That's already in the new platform.
Okay, great.
So what you have is the way that looks is, again, I got a nice red line I can do. So let's pretend the green line is current. We'll define it. Let's say the red line is going to look, I'm making this up, right? More like that. And that's
Right.
the other spread. That's, the one you just added in there. You
Right.
can take it on, take it off.
Yeah,
Absolutely. It's already
that's
there.
one thing people really like.
Yep. Good. Good to know.
Okay, let's see. Tim asked, does the risk graph remain accurate for campaign type trades with several changes? So, like
What does that
Thinkorswim,
mean?
like Thinkorswim's only showing you the open positions. It doesn't keep track of adjustments and commissions and stuff.
Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, I didn't bring that up at all. I apologize. That's a great question. So relative to that question, super important, and I can't believe I didn't think about this, but I'm going to do it real quick. I apologize. Off the main menu. Okay, again, this little menu here. Under trade is something we call strategies, and I'm going to click it. Again, we did this on purpose. We made it free floating. Okay, it doesn't dock into here. This strategy, we call it a strategy tracker. And to this gentleman's question, you can create an infinite number of strategies. All a strategy is a trade. Okay, it can be a single leg, it can be multi-leg, it can be anything. Okay, so as you make trades to the strategy, and I'm just going to pick one up here. Let me see if I have one that's available. Of course, I probably won't have one because I didn't know you were going to ask. Okay, good, I got one. So here's a spider. Okay, short call, vertical spread. I have this on. Okay, it keeps track of everything. This thing. Okay, every trade you make to the strategy. So if you do an adjustment, okay, notice I've got 14 of these on. If I buy 7 in, okay, it's going to readjust my cost basis, this strategy tracker. What this allows you to do is send it to what if in its adjusted form. Okay, you can always send it to what if and get, if you had 100 legs in the strategy, you could send all 100 legs by just one click in your strategy tracker. Okay.
And that'll
All
combine it all into the current,
100%.
keeping
Absolutely.
track of all your P&L and everything.
You got it. You got it. And if you notice, I haven't made a trade here because I have no closed P&L. So it's 0. And I can see I have no closed P&L because here's my initial trades are. This is all my workflow down below. This is what's open. If I had nothing open, it'd be blank up top. But since this is still open, this is all I got. Right? If I made trades, and again, I wish I had one. Let me just click around a little bit, see if I have anything. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I'm trying to find things here. Sorry. So I don't think I see anything off the top of my head. It looks like some of these things expired, and you can see the money I made, on these closed things. So the takeaway is, yeah, you can do a lot of things here. The other cool thing in Strategy Tracker is if you want to edit it, you can make notes to yourself. So you can get in here and type, go to town and type, right? Save it, and then just go nuts with all that stuff. So you can see where my notes are there. You can export it to Excel if you'd like. There's an export button. If you have a strategy, say, oh darn, I did it, I didn't combine it with the one I wanted to. You can merge strategies too. So if you did it, and you want to merge the second one here to see the 2 blue lines, you just hit the merge button. It's asked you, do you want to merge these strategy, put them together, takes all your cost basis and merges it all together. Okay, so you absolutely can do all that. The good thing about this as well, using that what if button sends all legs to this what if to analyze. So if you have more than 4, you can get them all in here. Okay, so absolutely do that in what if. The other thing, when you make a trade, okay, and let's pretend I'm going to make this Apple trade over here. Let's flip it and do more of the same. And I wanted to save it to one of my strategies. I didn't say this either. There is a strategy button on every ticket. If I click it and I know which strategy I'm sending it to, and I'm just going to make this up because I don't know which one I want to send it to. I'm going to send it to this back spread one. Now, when it fills, it will automatically update that strategy with the prices that are where it's traded, and you're good to go. All of it's done for you. Okay. The other thing, in your portfolio page, all your open strategies you can look at in a swath by clicking there and looking at everything that you have open as a strategy. 4 legs, 7 legs, 10 legs, whatever you want. Okay. And if you see zeros, that means it's stuff I closed. This is only for open stuff in the portfolio. If you go to your strategy tracker, remember that's the thing I just pulled up. You can see all of your P&L in any one strategy if you'd like. Okay, all your adjustments, everything you did. Does that answer that question, Tom?
I think so. Yep. Couple of margin questions. Let's see, plans for portfolio margin, and then I guess the index. Serge tried to put it calendar on an index, you said the margin was 300,000.
Yeah. So I'm not good at the margin. That's a brokerage question. I mean, I certainly can put folks in touch with service at tradierbrokerage.com. Margins like any other place, right? We're governed by the by the U.S. government and the SEC, so we can't do much on option margin, right? It's pretty similar across the board. Portfolio margin is a little different. It's funny they bring that up because I just had a conversation internally with our folks about portfolio margin. So we're trying to get that in also by the end of the year with portfolio margin. Like I'm very familiar with portfolio margin because I come from the pro days and that's all we use. It's Apex does offer it, and we are going to do it. We just have to hire staff to manage that process. So for us, it's not a huge deal. It's just again a little bit like the other process of getting it done from a regulatory perspective. So
kind of targeting Q4 for that.
Yeah, we're trying. I kind of stirred it up a little bit today. So they know.
Maybe stir it up a little more. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, because your community is probably a lot of really much more active, higher, understanding traders. Those people use portfolio margin. I get it.
Or span margin on futures.
Yeah, absolutely. Same deal for futures. So it's a good thing to have. I think it would be great for us. So easily doable with the platform. We can absolutely absorb it. We just have to have clearance to do it.
Now, Martin has some, I think he was on the exchange, but he had a question about, you can see the one about the pointing orders, the citadels of the world.
Yeah, we consolidate. So we don't, that's direct market access. Clearly in the pro world, that was an easy one. We don't do that here. So it's an aggregator. So we don't send it to Citadel. They may trade it. We don't know. We have no idea. We send it to, through Apex's pipes. So we don't have the ability to let someone choose where they're sending it, CBOE versus Box versus, some of the Picos, et cetera.
And well, maybe I can talk to somebody at Tradier about the margin stuff too, separately. Yep. But
yeah, you can absolutely. I can give you Tom. I'll send you an email with a name who heads all that up. He absolutely can handle that for you.
Okay, and then a couple questions about what brokers this works with. I think it's only Tradier, isn't it?
Yeah, we're owned by Tradier Brokerage, or Tradier Inc., I should say. But yeah, that's who we're owned by, right?
And that leads into the next question: the cost for the platform.
So for your folks, right? I give you guys special pricing. So the way we do this is think of a Netflix style model. We can do it that way, or we're very happy to charge you commissions if you want. But most active people take the subscription model, which means for $60 a month, you get unlimited commission-free trading. Okay, what does that mean? It's not like what they said at TD and the rest of the places where they said, oh, options are commission-free, but we still charge 65 cents a contract. No, we don't charge 65 cents a contract. We don't charge anything for a contract. Okay, so the $60 includes that, covers that. Now, if you're not an active person, you can do the math. 60 divided by whatever your contract per contract is some number of contracts per month. If you're not over that number, we can absolutely charge you, we charge 35 cents a contract. That's our standard rate. Okay. Just understand, if you're always doing more than the magic number of 60 divided by 35 cents in this example, whatever that comes out to be, you really should be on the unlimited plan, right? But it's your choice. They have absolute freedom to choose as they want. Does that make sense, Tom?
Yeah, and Serge said unlimited commission is not for indexes. I think that maybe a little confusion that the commission is what the broker's charging, but the exchanges have other fees that still have to be charged.
That's right. Yeah. So what happens with the I think unfortunately your community is a big SPX group, which what I can do is I can certainly work on it. CBOE just utterly kills us on SPX because it's a single listed and they really charge a lot, right? What's always passed through at any broker is exchange, SEC, OCC. And I don't know if people pay attention to SPX exchange fees, but they're huge. They're like 65 cents, 61 cents a contract. Okay.
Yeah, so Serge said he was charged 65 cents plus a fee. Yep.
Yep. You can't get around it. Okay. Now because it's a single listed, the SPX with us is typically the 35 cents. So it makes sense to just go on that plan if that's all you're trading. Just pay the 35 cents. And Tradier Brokerage is just going to pass through everything else. We don't make any money on that. We just, whatever the exchange bills us, it's just passed right through. If you can delve your world from SPX into spiders, there is no 35 cents for spiders. That's just zero. Okay. So you just pay the exchange, SEC, OCC, which probably comes out to be about, I don't know, 5 or 7 cents per contract is how that all adds up to be. So it's a de minimis number. But I would,
I guess you got a 10x it to compare to SPX.
yeah, that's right. But don't forget, 10x the same margin. Typically, you get better, a little bit better um, uh, availability with SPY because it settles in an actual stock, as opposed
Right.
to SPX, it settles in cash. So you get a little trouble with mixed month spreads with SPX. It doesn't settle in cash. So you get, it's almost like two different trading vehicles. The way, retail brokers look at that stuff sometimes with indices that are cash based. So if you can convert your mind to spiders, which I did, very simply, 10x is the same as 1. I'm going to pay the same typically, or less with spider. I think there's probably a tax advantage with SPX over spider. So you got, you might have to run some.
Yeah, there's the
Yes.
1256 contract.
Yep. So there might be some numbers you might want to take a look at, but both's available. Some people made the transition to spider very simply. I did. I don't. That's all I trade relative to that world.
Well, other people have moved to ES futures options because it's essentially like trading SPX, but with futures, and you get the some benefits for that too.
Right.
Martin is in Chicago and asked if you're located in Chicago.
I'm personally located in Chicago, not in the city anymore. I used to live in the city a long time ago, but once the exchange is closed, I hightailed it to the suburbs.
Yeah,
So,
I grew up in Oak Park, so not too far away.
Yeah. So I'm northwest. So yeah, but our home base is in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where Tradier is located.
Okay.
We all work around the country. So yeah.
So basically, big changes coming. Software probably end of the summer, and futures and possibly portfolio margin by the end of the year.
Yeah, that's what we're shooting for. We are looking for real users who are with us to be beta testers for the new version. So if anyone is a real user currently or wants to be, we're happy to put them on the list for the new version. New version will look and feel different, and it's gonna, I wish I had it to show you, but it's gonna be very different feel. A lot of the functionality plus added. Pretty cool looking. I really like the way it's coming out. So I think everyone's gonna like it.
Well, I think we've plowed through all the questions. So anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
I don't think so. I mean, Tom, you have a link, right, for folks if they want to,
I do, and I'll post that in the
Okay.
recording. I'll get this on YouTube and also in our own library.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, look at it. If you want to bring a host of SPX folks over, I will absolutely pound the pavement on the 35 cents and see if we can get that down to some really small number. But it's an expensive product for brokers to offer. Don't forget the exchange is probably charging you 65 cents on SPX versus 4 on SPY.
Right.
Just no way around that. It's just a big number. But if you're at tasting, you're paying 65 for commissions. You're paying 65 plus 65. So it's $1.30 versus more like $1.
And then Alan has possible date for futures options.
I think probably by the start of the new year, end of the year.
Okay.
This is already geared for futures and futures options. Our platform. We just need the feed for it. That's all. So we just need to have the ability to actually run an order.
And I think when I talked to you and Dan, Forex is kind of not really in the near term.
That's not on the radar right now. No, not Forex.
Okay. No. Oh, and then another question: what about RUT and NDX commissions?
Same as SPX. Those are both proprietary indices to SIBO, so they like to do some gouging. So same deal there. 35 cents and whatever they charge for the exchange fee, which I'm guessing is high, like SPX. Russell is what? That's IWM on the small side. NDX, QQQ could be.
IWM, yeah.
Yeah. So those are the 1/10ths, if that makes sense. But again, Tom, if you have enough people who say, yeah, I want to do this, and they're all SPX guys, I can absolutely twist some arms in terms of getting 35 cents down to some better number.
Yeah, I'm guessing 90% of our community is trading SPX.
Okay. Well, easy enough. I'll work on it. I'll get back to you and let you know what I came up with.
Awesome. All right, Lex, really appreciate it. Interesting software. Commission structure is really interesting too. So cool. Nice changes coming down the road. So yeah,
and there's mobile too. I didn't add that, but there's a TradeHawk mobile, so it's in the App Store and in Google Play.
Oh, excellent.
Yep, and it all comes with all part of the package. You know, it's not extra, nothing. Just it's
Right.
all
If you're a Tradier customer, you have access to this basically.
Yep.
All right.
Cool. All
Well,
right.
thanks very much. Really appreciate you stopping by, and let me know when your new version of the software is ready. We'll have you back and you can showcase it for us.
I'd love to. Awesome. It's going to be soon. So probably, end of summer, like you said. So good
Looking
deal. If
forward
anyone
to it.
wants to, if anyone wants to be a beta, let me know, Tom. Happy to put them in.
Okay, I'll put your email in our member site on the description. So if anybody wants to contact you, they'll have easy access.
Okay. Sounds great.
All right. Great.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone. Have a great rest of the week. And happy trading. Thanks, Tom.
Yep. Thanks, Lex.
Okay.
See you,
bye now.
everyone. Bye.